The spice trade, spanning roughly from the 15th to 18th centuries, saw European powers venturing across vast oceans in search of exotic spices, fundamentally reshaping global commerce, cuisine, and culture. But why were these aromatic substances so precious? Spices were invaluable for several reasons. They preserved food in an age before refrigeration, were believed to have potent medicinal properties, and served as status symbols due to their rarity and exotic origins. Their practical, health, and cultural value made them worth their weight in gold, spurring a race among European powers to control the spice trade. The global spice trade centered around prized commodities like pepper from India, cinnamon from Sri Lanka, nutmeg and cloves from the Indonesian Banda and Maluku Islands, involved a complex network of European powers and Asian trading hubs. Portugal pioneered direct maritime routes to India, followed by the Dutch East India Company's near monopoly and later British involvement through the East India Company. These European entities interacted with key Asian players: India's Malabar coast as a major source and trading point, the Indonesian Spice Islands as exclusive providers of certain spices, China as a significant market and intermediary, and Arab traders as crucial middlemen. This intricate trade network utilized diverse routes, maritime paths like the Portuguese Cape Route circling Africa and complex Southeast Asian sea routes, as well as land routes including the ancient Silk Road, connecting China to the Mediterranean and Arab networks through the Middle East and North Africa. While the traditional spice trade routes dominated global commerce for centuries, it was the pursuit of an alternative path to these riches that inadvertently led to one of history's most significant discoveries. Christopher Columbus's famed 1492 voyage, which resulted in the European discovery of the Americas, was originally conceived as an ambitious plan to reach India by sailing west to get direct access to the lucrative spice trade, which at the time was dominated by Arab middlemen and Italian city-states. After the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Empire in 1453, the traditional overland routes to Asia became more difficult and expensive. Portugal had already established another route to India by sailing around Africa, but this was a long and perilous journey. Columbus, supported by the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella, proposed reaching Asia by sailing westward across the Atlantic, believing that this would be a shorter route. Instead, he encountered the Americas, leading to new trade routes and sources of wealth for European powers, altering the global balance that had been established around the spice trade and resulting in the establishment of vast colonial empires like the Dutch, Spanish, and British. Another fascinating illustration of the spice trade's paramount importance comes from a little-known historical episode: the island of Run. This tiny Indonesian island was once the world's only source of nutmeg and mace, making that in 1667, the British traded it to the Dutch for an apparently insignificant island on the other side of the world, Manhattan. This swap, part of the Treaty of Breda, highlights just how prized these territories were, as the British essentially exchanged what would become New York City. If you want to learn more about these stories, in today's book recommendation, we find that Nathaniel's Nutmeg by Giles Milton focuses on the intense rivalry between European powers over the control of the spice trade, particularly nutmeg. The impact of the spice trade on world history cannot be overstated. Economically, it spurred the development of international trade and banking systems and led to the creation of the first multinational corporations in the form of the East India Companies, such as the Dutch VOC, which at its zenith was valued at the equivalent of $7.9 trillion in today's currency. The spice trade's immense revenues funded the Dutch Golden Age, contributed significantly to Venice's wealth during the Renaissance, and spurred the development of early stock markets and financial instruments. It contributed significantly to the rise of mercantilism and later capitalism. At its peak, spices commanded astronomical prices, European traders could mark up these coveted commodities by up to 60,000% from their Asian purchase price, leading to staggering profits. However, as Europe gained direct access to spice sources and plantation farming became more widespread, the astronomical prices of spices began to fall. European powers gradually shifted their focus to other commodities like tea, coffee, and sugar. The spice trade's cultural impact extended far beyond introducing new flavors to world cuisines. Religious ideas spread along trade routes, with Islam expanding in Southeast Asia and Christianity finding new followers in Asia. Languages mixed, leaving lasting imprints on words like ketchup entered English from Chinese via traders. This cultural cross-pollination left an indelible mark on world history that resonates to this day. For a more in-depth insights into how the spice trade shaped cities like Venice, Lisbon, and Amsterdam, The Taste of Conquest, The Rise and Fall of the Three Great Cities of Spice by Michael Crondall covers the economic, cultural, and culinary impacts of the spice trade. Now, we want to hear you in the comments. How do you think the global economy might be different today if the spice trade hadn't driven European exploration and colonization? This is the end of the video. Hope you learned something new with us today. Please give a big thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel to keep getting enriched from our content and share the video with someone you know will like it.